Imagine standing on the ghats of Varanasi at dawn. The Ganges River flows before you, the same waters that have flowed for thousands of years. Around you, pilgrims chant, temple bells ring, and the smoke of ritual fires rises into the violet sky. What you are witnessing is not a museum. It is not a preserved artifact. This is a living, breathing city that has never stopped existing, never been abandoned, never been lost. Varanasi is older than Rome, older than Jerusalem, older than any continuously inhabited city known to human civilization. But here is the question that will reshape how you understand time itself. How can a city remain unbroken for over 3,000 years while empires around it crumble to dust? By the end of this video, you will discover a secret about Varanasi that even most Indian pilgrims do not know, a revelation about why this one sacred city was never conquered, never destroyed, and never forgotten. Varanasi's story begins in the Vedic age, though its exact founding date remains wrapped in the mists of spiritual history. The Rig Veda, composed between 1500 and 1200 BCE, makes references to cities along the Ganges. But Varanasi, called Kashi in Sanskrit, meaning the city that shines, emerges most clearly in later texts. The Mahabharata and the Puranas describe it as the eternal city of Lord Shiva, the destroyer and transformer in the Hindu trinity. According to these sacred texts, Shiva himself established Kashi as his divine seat on earth. Historically, Varanasi rose to prominence around 1200 BCE as a center of learning, trade, and spirituality. The city became famous during the time of the Buddha. Siddhartha Gautama gave his first sermon not far from Varanasi, in nearby Sarnath, around 528 BCE. This tells you something profound. Even as Buddhism flourished, Varanasi remained a pilgrimage destination. The city was sacred to multiple faiths, yet remained rooted in its Hindu identity. For 2,500 years, Varanasi has been the pilgrimage destination for Hindus seeking moksha, liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Millions of pilgrims come here to bathe in the Ganges, to perform rituals for their ancestors, and ultimately, many come to breathe their last breath in this sacred city. Hindus believe that to die in Varanasi and be cremated on its ghats releases the soul from samsara, the endless wheel of rebirth. This belief has shaped the city's identity more than any other single force. But here is what most people, even devout Hindus, do not know about Varanasi. The city was not conquered by the most brutal invaders in Indian history. In the 12th century, Muhammad of Ghor and later the Delhi Sultanate ravaged North India, destroying temples and cities. Yet Varanasi endured. During the Mughal Empire under Aurangzeb, one of the most zealous Islamic rulers, Hindu temples across India were desecrated. Yet Varanasi's spiritual essence was never extinguished. Centuries later, under British colonial rule, while monuments fell and cultures were disrupted, Varanasi remained a thriving pilgrimage center. Why? Because a city sustained by pure faith, by millions returning year after year seeking the divine, cannot be conquered. Empires collapse. But pilgrimage is eternal. This reveals the deepest truth about Varanasi. It survives not because of walls or armies, but because of what it means to the human soul. Every street corner contains a temple. Every ghat is a gateway between worlds. The city is not preserved, it is continuously reborn through the devotion of those who come seeking transformation. Varanasi teaches us that spirituality is not found in perfection or preservation. It lives in continuous practice, in ritual repeated generation after generation, in the footsteps of millions walking the same paths their ancestors walked. The Ganges itself is a symbol, constantly flowing, never the same water twice, yet eternally the same river. This is how Varanasi has endured. Not through stasis, but through eternal renewal. In our modern world of constant change and disruption, Varanasi stands as proof that meaning transcends power. A city of 1.2 million people, where death is not feared but welcomed as transformation, where poverty and pilgrimage coexist, where the divine is not confined to temples but flows through the streets themselves, this is a mirror showing us what matters. Not what we build, but what we believe. Not the monuments we leave behind, but the sacred footprints we create while walking. Varanasi whispers an ancient secret to everyone who dares to listen: the most powerful force on earth is not conquest or control. It is devotion. It is the human heart's yearning for the eternal. And that yearning, repeated across millennia, creates something that no power can destroy. When you understand Varanasi, you understand the very heart of Sanatan Dharma itself. Subscribe to Sanatan